Listen to me. Right now, at this very moment, there is a war happening inside your mind, and you don't even realize it. Not against the world, not against other people, not against your past. The war is you versus your own thoughts. And the truth is harsh. Your mind has been lying to you. Every day, every night, every second, you let your thoughts run wild. You think you're thinking, but you're not. You're overthinking. And overthinking is nothing but fear dressed as logic. It whispers soft, poisonous lies. What if you fail? What will they think? What if it all goes wrong? What if you're not enough? And you believe it. You sit still. You freeze. You panic. You replay the same scenarios 1,000 times until your brain feels like it's melting. Let me tell you something raw and real. Overthinking doesn't protect you. It destroys you. It kills your confidence. It kills your peace. It kills your decisions. It kills your future before it even has a chance to exist. Take a breath. Picture this. It's late at night. The world is quiet. Your room is dark. You want to sleep, but your mind is wide awake. Your body is tired, but your thoughts are sprinting. What if? What if? What if? You replay conversations. You analyze messages. You imagine failures that never happened. You suffer twice, once in reality and once in your mind. You try to stop it, but the thoughts get louder. And suddenly you realize something terrifying. You aren't thinking anymore. Your mind is thinking you. But here's the truth nobody told you. Your mind is not the enemy. Your lack of control is. Because the mind is like fire. If you control it, it will warm your whole life. If you don't, it will burn everything you love. And I want you to hear this with your whole soul. You were not born to be controlled by your thoughts. You were born to control them. You were not born to be a prisoner inside your own head. You were born to be the master of it. But right now, your thoughts are running without a leader. And an uncontrolled mind will always choose the path of fear. Always. Let me give you a secret, a truth most people never learn. Overthinking is not a sign of intelligence. It is a sign of mental imbalance. A mind that has energy but no direction. A racing engine with no steering wheel. But this moment right here, this is where everything changes. Because today, you take the steering wheel back. Today, you stop letting fear dominate your imagination. Today, you begin learning how to quiet the noise, how to stop the loops, how to choose your thoughts instead of drowning in them. And before this chapter ends, let me open a loop inside your mind, one that I'll close later. There is a technique used by elite soldiers, athletes, and world-class performers that can stop overthinking in 5 seconds. Anytime, any place, any situation. And before this video ends, I'm going to teach it to you. But for now, I need you to understand the most important truth of all. Your mind is powerful, but you are more powerful. You just forgot it. Overthinking made you forget. Fear made you forget. S made you forget. But you will remember. Starting now, you are about to learn how to take back control. Not by fighting your thoughts, but by mastering them. Not by avoiding fear, but by understanding it. Not by shutting down your mind, but by becoming the one who commands it. This is the beginning of your transformation. This is where the overthinker dies and the controller awakens. Let me take you somewhere, not to a place in the world, but a place inside your mind, a place you've been trapped in for years. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a small, dark room. No windows, no doors, just 4 walls closing in slowly, like they're breathing against you. In the center of that room sits a single chair. And on that chair sits you. Your legs can move. Your hands can move. The world outside the room is full of opportunities, people, chances, possibilities. Yet you stay right there, frozen, stuck, held hostage by thoughts that aren't even real. This room is your mind when you overthink. You ult the walls. You lock the door. And you hid the key inside your own fear. Let me tell you a story, one that might feel uncomfortably familiar. There was a young man, let's call him Daniel. Daniel wanted to start something new in his life. A project, a business, a dream. But every time he tried, his mind whispered, what if it fails? What if people laugh? What if you lose everything? What if it's not the right time? What if you're not good enough? These words didn't come from reality. They came from his imagination. But imagination used in the wrong direction becomes fear. So Daniel waited. He planned. He researched. He prepared. Days passed. Weeks passed. Months passed. Nothing changed. His dreams stayed in his head. His life stayed on pause. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't untalented. He wasn't unmotivated. He was just trapped. Trapped in the same room you were in a moment ago. Trapped by thoughts that had a voice, but no truth. And then one day, Daniel realized something painful. He wasn't afraid of failing. He was afraid of feeling embarrassed, feeling rejected, feeling uncertain, feeling exposed. And instead of facing those feelings, he chose the illusion of safety. He chose the prison. Sound familiar? Because deep inside, you already know this. Overthinking is not thinking. It's avoiding. Avoiding a decision. Avoiding responsibility. Avoiding discomfort. Avoiding life. But here's the truth that breaks the prison walls. Overthinking is the enemy of action, and action is the enemy of fear. Fear feeds on hesitation. Hesitation grows into paralysis. Paralysis becomes a habit, and that habit becomes your identity. You start saying things like, I overthink everything. I can't make decisions. I don't trust myself. My mind never stops. But those are not identities. They're symptoms. Symptoms of a mind that has forgotten who's in charge. Let me ask you a question. When you're overthinking, where is your attention? On the present? On what you can control? No. Your attention is trapped in imaginary futures. Scenarios that don't exist. Outcomes that haven't happened. Problems that may never happen. You suffer in your imagination before anything even occurs. In real life. That's the trick of overthinking. It makes the future feel like the present, and imagination feel like reality. But here is where your power returns. You must separate thinking from overthinking. Thinking solves problems. Overthinking creates them. Thinking is active. Overthinking is passive. Thinking moves you forward. Overthinking holds you back. Thinking is you using your mind. Overthinking is your mind using you. Let that sink in. Now, think of Daniel again. His life changed not because he became smarter, not because he read more books, not because he found some magical motivation. His life changed the moment he said, I'm done letting fear make decisions for me. And in that moment, something shifted. Because when you take responsibility, your brain begins to follow your lead instead of pulling you around like a puppet. You stop living in imagined disasters and start living in real actions. You break the cycle. But before we move forward, I want you to understand the truth underneath all overthinking, the thing most people never realize. The mind overthinks when it's not given direction. A mind without leadership becomes a wild animal. It panics. It repeats. It spirals. It imagines. It catastrophizes. Not because it hates you, but because it's desperately trying to protect you. The problem is, it protects you in the wrong way. By stopping you. By scaring you. By freezing you. So the solution cannot be to stop thinking. Your mind won't allow that. The real solution is this. You give your mind a job. You give it direction. You give it focus. You tell it where to go instead of letting it drag you where it wants. That is the beginning of control. In the next chapter, you will learn exactly how your mind hijacks you, and the simple shift that turns chaos into clarity. Because the moment you understand how your mind traps you is the moment you discover how to break free. Before you learn how to control your mind, you must learn how to see it, not from inside the chaos, not from inside the noise, not from inside the fear, but from the outside, as the observer, the watcher, the one who sees thoughts without becoming them. Because here's the truth. You cannot control what you are unconscious of. Awareness is the first weapon. Let me show you what that means. The chair technique. Step outside your mind. Imagine you walk into a huge, empty room. No walls closing in this time. Just space. Light. Quiet. In the center of this room, there are two chairs. One chair is occupied, and sitting in that chair is you, not the physical you, the thinking you. The one drowning in thoughts, doubts, fear, stress, deadlines, memories, and imaginary disasters. This version of you is exhausted, restless, agitated, constantly fighting with invisible enemies. But you, the real you, walk to the second chair and sit down. For the first time ever, you're not inside the thoughts. You're watching them, just watching. And something magical happens. The thoughts lose their power. They lose their grip. They feel separate, like clouds passing through the sky. You see them clearly. Label them. Recognize them. That's fear. That's insecurity. That's doubt. That's imagination. That's old trauma. That's just noise. Suddenly you realize something life-changing. A thought is not a command. A thought is not reality. A thought is not you. It's just a voice your mind produces. A voice you can observe without obeying. This is awareness. And this is where the mind begins to listen to you. Your thoughts are not the problem. Your identification is. Most people drown in thoughts because they believe every thought is true. If I think something bad, it must mean something. If I imagine failure, it means I should give up. If my mind says I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not. No, absolutely not. Thinking something doesn't make it true. The mind throws random thoughts like rain throws drops. You are never supposed to catch everyone. Your mind can say, you're going to fail, and awareness allows you to respond. That's just a fear thought, nothing more. Your mind can say, what if everything goes wrong? And awareness allows you to say, that's imagination, not reality. Your mind can say, you're not ready. And awareness answers, that's doubt, not truth. When you separate yourself from your thoughts, you take back your power. Because the moment you watch a thought, you're no longer controlled by it. Why overthinking happens, the spotlight principle. Think of your mind like a dark room with a flashlight. Where the flashlight points, your energy goes. Where your energy goes, your emotions go. Where your emotions go, your reality goes. Overthinkers point the flashlight at fear, at the worst-case scenario, at imaginary outcomes. And that's why those outcomes feel so real. Because the mind magnifies whatever you focus on. Awareness allows you to take the flashlight back, to point it somewhere else, to shift it from fear, truth, from imagination, action, from doubt, clarity. This is the beginning of control. The moment of realization, I am not my thoughts. Let me share a scene. Maybe it's your scene. You're sitting on your bed. Your mind is loud. Your chest is tight. Your breathing is shallow. You feel overwhelmed, stressed, lost. Then suddenly, a small whisper inside you says, hold on. Who is noticing these thoughts? Who is watching the panic? Who is hearing the mental noise? Who is witnessing the fear? It's you, the observer behind the mind. And if you can watch your thoughts, then you cannot be them. You're the sky. Your thoughts are the clouds. Some days the sky is stormy. Some days the sky is calm. But the sky is never the storm. Awareness breaks the loop. Overthinking thrives on unconscious repetition. Awareness breaks it instantly. Here's why. 1. Overthinking equals automatic. You don't choose it. It happens to you. 2. Awareness equals manual. You choose to watch. You choose to slow down. You choose to take control. As soon as you observe the thought, you interrupt the cycle. The loop collapses. The mind resets. The noise fades. The script of power. What to say to your thoughts. When a heavy or scary thought appears, say this silently. I see you. You are just a thought. You are not reality. These 3 lines disconnect your emotions from the thought. They weaken it, drain it, dissolve it. This is not positivity. This is neurological. The brain cannot maintain fear. When you shift into observation, the system breaks. The loop fails. You regain control. And now the awakening. Something shifts in your energy. You feel calmer, clearer, more powerful. And for the first time in your life, you understand. You don't conquer your mind by force. You conquer it by awareness. This is the beginning, the door opening, the first breath of freedom. But awareness alone is not enough. You've learned how to step outside your thoughts. But now you must learn how to redirect them. Because the next step, the next chapter, is where real transformation begins. A new identity, a new mental operating system, a new version of you. Now that you've learned how to step outside your thoughts, it's time to do something far more powerful. Not just watching the mind, not just understanding the mind, but rewiring it. Because awareness gives you clarity, but taking control gives you freedom. And to take control, you must learn the skill almost nobody is taught: directing your mind instead of being dragged by it. This is where your new identity begins. Introducing the 3R system, a simple, brutally effective method for breaking mental chaos and replacing it with clarity. This system has 3 parts: recognize, refocus, replace. Let's break each one down. 1. Recognize. Name the thought instantly. Pause, gentle. The moment a negative or fearful thought appears, you do not suppress it. You do not fight it. You do not panic. You simply label it. Just like this. That's fear. That's doubt. That's insecurity. That's imagination. That's trauma replaying. That's the overthinking loop. Why does this work? Because the brain cannot stay in emotional panic. When you switch into analysis mode, when you label a thought, you shift from emotional, rational, reacting, observing, panic, control. This is the first cut in the overthinking loop. 2. Refocus. Move the spotlight. Remember the spotlight from the last chapter? Overthinking happens when your attention is focused on imagined danger. So after recognizing the thought, you move the spotlight. How? You redirect your mind into the present moment. Right now, this second, this breath. You tell yourself, come back. Right now, focus on what is real. Focus on this moment. Sometimes, all you need to do is this. Take a deep breath. Feel your hands. Feel your feet. Feel your chest rising and falling. People underestimate this because it sounds too simple. But simplicity is where power lives. Your mind cannot panic when your attention comes back to the present. Fear exists in the future. Regret exists in the past. Only peace exists in the now. 3. Replace. Choose the thought. And now, the final step, the one that changes everything. Once you've recognized the thought and refocused to the present, you replace the old thought with a new one, a thought you choose. Here's how. Instead of, I'm going to fail, say, I can figure this out. Instead of, what if they judge me? Say, I control how I show up, not what they think. Instead of, I'm not ready. Say, I am learning. I'm growing. I am becoming ready. Instead of, this is too hard. Say, this is how I get stronger. Thought replacement is not delusion. It's leadership. Who's in charge? Your fears or you? This is the part of the system where you transfo. RM, your mental identity. A story, the mind rewiring of a broken athlete. Let me show you how powerful this is. There was an athlete once, a swimmer preparing for a world-class competition. He was strong, disciplined, trained, focused. But one day, during practice, he made a mistake. A small mistake, a forgettable mistake. But in his mind, that mistake became a monster. What if I mess up again? What if everyone sees me fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if I lose everything? He spiraled. Sleepless nights, shaking before practice, drowning in fear, not water. His coach saw this. He didn't give him motivation. He didn't give him comfort. Instead, he gave him the 3R system. The coach said, when a fearful thought enters your mind, recognize it. Refocus your attention on what you can control. Replace it with a truth. The athlete tried it. Overthinking thought appears. What if I fail? He recognized it. That's fear. He refocused. Focus on your breathing. Focus on your body right now, not the competition. He replaced it. I have trained for this. I am prepared. I am ready. He did this every day, every hour, every time the storm came back. And something incredible happened. The fear quieted. The loop stopped. His confidence returned. Not because the world changed. Not because the competition became easier. Because he rewired his mind. That athlete went on to win. Not because he was the strongest physically, but because he became the strongest mentally. Your mind learns what you teach it. Every time you overthink, you train the brain to fear. Every time you use the 3R system, you train the brain to obey. Your mind is a pattern machine. It doesn't care what pattern you choose. It only follows repetition. Repeat fear, you become anxious. Repeat clarity, you become powerful. Repeat chaos, you become overwhelmed. Repeat leadership, you become unstoppable. And now you're starting the leadership stage. But there's one more step, a big one. You can observe thoughts. You can label them. You can redirect them. You can replace them. But there's something missing, something that will take your control from 50% to 100%. It's a technique used by Navy SEALs, astronauts, pilots, and high-pressure operators around the world. A technique that snaps the brain out of overthinking in exactly 5 seconds. And in the next chapter, you're going to learn it. Get ready, because this is where you stop just controlling your mind and start commanding it. Before we begin, take one deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, because what you're about to learn is a technique used by elite soldiers, world-class athletes, astronauts, and people who cannot afford to lose control of their mind, even for one moment. It's simple, it's fast, it's powerful, and when you master it, your mind will never control you in the same way again. This is the 5-second rule. The truth: overthinking lives in hesitation. You don't overthink because the problem is big. You overthink because your mind has too much time. Fear grows in the space between thought and action. The longer you wait, the louder your mind becomes. But if you close that gap, if you remove the time, if you act before the mind creates fear, overthinking dies instantly. And that's exactly what the 5-second rule does. The rule: count backward 5-4-3-2-1 and move, not forward. Forward is passive. Forward is soft. Forward can continue the loop. You count backward because it forces your brain to engage the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision, logic, control. So here's the rule. When your mind starts spiraling, you interrupt it by counting asterisk asterisk. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Move. Stand up. Send the message. Start the task. Walk away. Begin the workout. Speak the truth. Do the thing you're avoiding. Movement ends overthinking because fear cannot survive action. Why this works? Neuroscience made simple. When you count backward, heavy check mark, you interrupt the fear loop. Heavy check mark, you override your emotional brain. Heavy check mark, you activate your decision-making system. Heavy check mark, you break the hesitation pattern. It's a neurological reset button. Every time you use it, you weaken the old pathways of, I can't, I'm scared, what if, maybe later, and you strengthen new pathways of, I act, I choose, I move, I control my mind. This is not motivation. This is neuroscience. Let's walk through real situations. Situation 1. Replying to a message you're afraid of. Your mind says, what if they judge me? What if I say the wrong thing? What if they don't reply? You feel the anxiety rise. Stop. 5-4-3-2-1. Reply. Send. Done. Your mind has no time to overthink. Situation 2. Starting a task you've been avoiding. Your brain, I'll do it later. This feels hard. I'm not ready. You feel the resistance. Stop. 5-4-3-2-1. Start. Even 10 seconds of action destroys the mental barrier. Situation 3. Spiral of negative thoughts. You're lying in bed. Your mind is creating disasters. You feel trapped. Stop. Sit up. 5-4-3-2-1. Change your environment. Turn on a light. Take a breath. Your mind resets. Situation 4. Anxiety in public or during conversation. Your heart races. Your mind panics. You want to disappear. Stop. 5-4-3-2-1. Breathe deep. Shoulders back. Stay present. The mind loses control because you took it back. Situation 5. You wake up and feel like staying in bed. Your comfort zone whispers, 10 more minutes. Life can wait. You're tired. Stop. 5-4-3-2-1. Get up. feet on the floor. Your day changes. Instantly. A story. The pilot who used the rule to save his mind. There was a pilot once, young, talented, sharp, but inside he was drowning in self-doubt. Before every takeoff, his mind spiraled. What if I make a mistake? What if something goes wrong? What if I'm not good enough to fly? One day, an instructor noticed. He said, "You're giving fear too much time. The longer you wait, the stronger it becomes. From now on, when fear enters, you count backward and act." The next morning, during pre-flight prep, the fear hit again. But this time, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Focus. Move. Act. He flipped the switches. He controlled the craft. He took off, steady, calm, confident. Within weeks, his anxiety dropped by 70%. Within months, he flew like a man transformed. Because he stopped allowing fear to speak first. He spoke first. He acted first. He moved first. The rule gives you back your identity. Every time you hesitate, you tell your mind, "You decide for me." Every time you use the 5-second rule, you tell your mind, "I decide." Overthinking destroys identity. The 5-second rule rebuilds it. You become a person who acts, a person who chooses, a person who leads, a person who doesn't negotiate with fear. But there's one final piece. You've learned. Heavy check mark awareness. Heavy check mark the 3 are system. Heavy check mark the 5-second rule. But now, you must build the mindset that makes all of this permanent. A mind that does not collapse under pressure. A mind that does not obey fear. A mind that moves with purpose. This requires a deeper transformation. A warrior identity. A mental armor. A discipline that makes you untouchable. And that is what comes next. Up until now, you've learned how to calm the mind, how to interrupt fear, how to break the loops that once controlled you. But now comes the real evolution. Not becoming calmer, not becoming smarter, not even becoming more disciplined, but becoming mentally unshakable. The kind of person who doesn't break under pressure, who doesn't collapse when life hits hard, who doesn't surrender to fear, stress, or uncertainty. This chapter is about building the mind of a warrior. And listen carefully. A warrior is not someone who has no fear. A warrior is someone who walks forward despite the fear. A warrior does not wait for motivation. A warrior acts because action is identity. A warrior does not avoid discomfort. A warrior uses discomfort as fuel. A warrior does not negotiate with weakness. A warrior trains it until strength appears. This is the path you're entering now. The truth. Your mind follows your identity. Your thoughts don't shape your identity. Your identity shapes your thoughts. When you repeat, "I overthink," "I'm anxious," "I'm scared," "I avoid things," "I can't handle pressure," you're training your mind to behave exactly that way. But when you shift your identity to, "I am the one who takes action," "I'm the one who stays calm," "I'm the one who decides," "I'm the one who moves forward," "I'm the one who conquers what scares me," your thoughts begin to obey, because the mind always follows the story you tell about yourself. So, starting today, you are no longer the overthinker. You are the warrior. Say it silently. Say it with belief. Say it until your mind understands. I do. Not run from difficult things. Difficult things run from me. The warrior principle. Do one hard thing every day, asterisk, asterisk. Comfort is the enemy of mental strength. Comfort softens you. Comfort weakens you. Comfort trains your brain to overreact to small problems. But doing hard things, even small ones, changes your mental wiring. It builds grit. It builds resilience. It builds a mind that does not panic. Here's how the warrior principle works. Every day, choose one thing that makes you uncomfortable. Just one. Something your comfort zone normally avoids. Heavy check mark, speak up. Heavy check mark, make the call. Heavy check mark, start the task. Heavy check mark, have the conversation. Heavy check mark, go to the gym. Heavy check mark, ask the question. Heavy check mark, try something new. Heavy check mark, wake up early. Heavy check mark, study when you don't feel like it. Heavy check mark, sit with discomfort instead of running. Every time you do a hard thing, your brain learns, discomfort will not kill me. I can handle more than I thought. And slowly, the world stops feeling so threatening. Problems stop feeling so big. You stop falling apart under pressure. Because the warrior trains in difficulty. A story. The woman who rebuilt her mind. There was a woman named Arya. Brilliant, kind, capable, yet destroyed by overthinking. She feared decisions, feared judgment, feared mistakes, feared walking into rooms where people might look at her. Her mind controlled every moment of her life. One day, during a breakdown, someone told her, "You don't need a calm mind to take control. You need a controlled identity." Something clicked, so she decided, every day do one hard thing. Her first hard thing was simple. Walk into a cafe alone. She was terrified, but she counted. 5-4-3-2-1. She walked inside. Her mind panicked, but she survived. The next day, a new challenge. Speak to a stranger. The day after that, apply for a job she felt unqualified for. Each day, the challenge grew. Each day, her courage grew faster. And after 6 months, something incredible happened. Her mind stopped overreacting, stopped spiraling, stopped controlling her. Why? Because she trained it through action, not comfort. Through challenge, not avoidance. Through identity, not fear. Arya didn't become fearless. She became powerful because she moved while afraid. That is a warrior. The shift you must make now. Overthinkers ask, what if I fail? Warriors say, if failure comes, I will learn. If discomfort comes, I will grow. If fear comes, I will move anyway. Overthinkers wait to feel ready. Warriors act before they feel ready. Overthinkers collapse under pressure. Warriors rise because of pressure. And here is the truth that will transform your life. Warriors aren't born. They are built. One hard decision at a time. And you're already on that path. But in the next chapter, something even deeper happens. You don't just become strong. You become untouchable. A person whose peace and focus cannot be stolen by the world. This is the final transformation. There's a moment in every person's life when they finally understand they were never fighting the world. They were fighting their own mind. And the moment you realize that, you stop trying to fix everything outside of you and start mastering everything inside of you. This is the moment you become untouchable. Not because life is easy, not because people change, not because problems disappear, but because your mind no longer collapses under pressure. Because you no longer collapse under pressure. Let me show you what this transformation looks like. The 4 stages of mental mastery. Throughout this journey, you unknowingly walked through 4 stages. When you see them clearly now, you will understand how far you've come and who you are becoming. Stage 1, the overthinker. This is where everything began. You lived trapped in your head, drowning in loops, believing every thought, fearing every possibility, exhausted by imaginary problems. You didn't realize your mind was controlling you. You didn't realize your thoughts were lying. You didn't realize how much power you were giving away. Stage 2, the observer. This was the first awakening. The moment you stepped back from your thoughts and saw them as separate from you. The moment you discovered, I hear my thoughts, therefore I'm not my thoughts. This was freedom. This was the beginning. You learned to watch, to pause, to breathe. Awareness cracked the walls of the prison. Stage 3, the controller. This is where you reclaim the steering wheel. Through the 3R system. Recognize, refocus, replace. Through the 5-second rule. 5-4-3-2-1 act. Through discipline. One hard thing every day. You stopped letting fear speak first. You stopped letting doubt decide your future. You stopped letting hesitation break your momentum. You didn't just calm your mind. You directed it. This was power. Stage 4, the warrior. And now, here you are, not someone who avoids fear, but someone who faces it. Not someone who collapses under stress, but someone who transforms through it. Not someone controlled by emotion, but someone who commands emotion. You've become the person your mind must listen to, not the person who listens to every lie the mind creates. This is the warrior mindset. But there is still one final evolution, a state few people ever reach, a state that makes you truly untouchable. The untouchable state, when the world cannot break your inner peace, asterisk, asterisk. Listen carefully. Being untouchable does not mean you never feel fear. You never feel stress. You never feel doubt. No, being untouchable means you feel fear, but you move anyway. You feel doubt, but you choose anyway. You feel stress, but you stay centered. You feel pressure, but you stay in control. You feel the chaos, but you remain calm. The world no longer steals your peace. People's opinions no longer define you. Unexpected problems no longer break you. Uncertainty no longer scares you. Because you have learned something most people never learn. Peace is not what happens around you. Peace is what you choose within you. This is the highest form of power. And you're stepping into it now. The final transformation, a message to your future self. Imagine yourself in 1 year. Not the you who overthinks. Not the you who hesitates. Not the you who panics. Not the you who collapses. But the you who has fully mastered the mind. Picture it. You wake up with purpose. You move with clarity. You speak with confidence. You make decisions without fear. You act without hesitation. You trust yourself deeply and unshakably. The old you, the overthinker, feels like a distant memory. People look at you and wonder, how does nothing break them? How do they stay so calm? How do they always move forward? How did they become so strong? And you'll know the answer, because you learn the truth that most people never discover. Your mind is your greatest enemy until you make it your greatest ally. Most people spend their lives running from thoughts, but you learn to sit with them, observe them, redirect them, then command them. You became the leader of your inner world. And when you become the master of your inner world, the outer world can no longer break you. That is what it means to be untouchable. The final message, claim your mind. Let these words burn into your identity. You're not fragile. You're not weak. You're not broken. Your mind is not your prison. Your thoughts are not your chains. Your fear is not your destiny. You were born with the ability to choose your thoughts, to direct your focus, to build your identity, to take control. And now you finally understand how. So say this to yourself quietly, with conviction, with belief, with truth. I'm the master of my mind. I choose my thoughts. I choose my actions. I choose my identity. I choose my life. Fear does not control me. Doubt does not own me. Overthinking does not define me. I am untouchable. Take a breath. Feel that. That is your new reality forming. And from this moment forward, your mind does not control you. You control your mind. And through your mind, you will control your life.